In the name of my ancestors, peace forever and always, and welcome to another edition of the Realities Temple on Earth Internet Ministry. Of course, I am the gatekeeper or the host of this particular program, known here on the internet as the mighty Angel Snub 7. I am your brother, and hopefully your friend, Talik Ibn'rad. I would first like to show sympathy and offer my condolence to this nation that we call Kenya. And it was such a terrible thing for you to experience this mall shooting. And so I offer my condolence to all those who lost loved ones in this, what is clearly a senseless massacre of the innocent, unarmed people, perhaps men, women, and children. But it reflects the civilization, not just a society, but a civilization that was built on this extreme sort of violence. And it continues today. And if such a thing is really investigated, chances are, at the root of it, it is somebody trying to get oil, rubber, take advantage of cheap labor. It's the usual activity of using fear and murder as a means to obtain material wealth. It would seem to me as though we as so-called good people, we would grow sick and tired of these things. Because I guarantee you, you can call these organizations Al-Qaeda, Al-Shabaab, and Shish Kebab, whatever you want to call these organizations. I can guarantee you, when it's all said and done, some government is funding the terrorism. I guarantee you the bottom line is oil, zinc, plutonium, cheap labor, things of this nature. Somebody is always trying to and wanting the resources of other people. They don't believe in sharing nothing. It's all about them. And in modern times, we know it is usually the West. It is the Europeans that are behind these atrocities. But there is an old saying that I learned from Denzel Washington in the movie Training Day. And the Europeans, these Caucasian Europeans, their leadership. See, I'm not going to really say the people, because the people really don't understand America's vital interests, the policy of America. They don't have no idea, and the Caucasian people of Europe, they have no idea of what their leaders are doing. So, Denzel Washington said in Training Day, it's not what you know, or it's not what you believe, it's what you can prove. So I can say that America and England and France, I can say that all of Europe is behind this massacre in Kenya. But when it comes to proving it, and the wicked know, because you don't have the resources in order to do proper investigation, it's not what you know. It's not what I believe. It's what you can prove. However, they have done things in the past that have been proven. In fact, many of them, or many of these things, they have confessed themselves. And we have a track record of evil, wicked, covert activity for questionable purpose and agenda, carried out by government, paid for by large corporations. We know this. It's not about what I believe. It's not about what I know. Can you prove it? If you can't prove it, why don't you shut up? I'm not going to shut up because there are those who don't realize that in the past, do you know what make a criminal a criminal? Because of their record, their past record of behavior. If you steal a Tootsie Roll one time, if you steal a Tootsie Roll 2 times, that does not make you a criminal. But when you steal a Tootsie Roll when you was 3 years old, stole a Tootsie Roll when you was 4 years old, 7 years old, 10 years old, then you graduate from Tootsie Roll, then you start stealing cars, then you start robbing banks, you are a criminal. The Western powers are criminals. What is called Western civilization is a criminal civilization. It was born, it was brought into existence by criminal activity, rape, robbery, murder, theft, lies, deception. And since it was created by murder, since it was created by violence, in order for it to maintain itself, in order for it to feed, it must continue to lie and murder. Look at the wars. Look at the violence. Look at Western civilization. The wars, the lies, the death and the destruction has not stopped since this thing called Western civilization have come into being. Never stopped. And so now recently, we've had the loss of life of over 60-some people because in the background, behind the scenes, somebody want to create terror to either distract us from somebody making another move or use that terror in order to continue to help control the people of this planet. Because a terrorized person is more easier controlled than one who is not. You will obey a person more so with a gun to your head rather than somebody screaming and hollering at you. That's not terrorizing. But when a gun is put to your head, when you have fear of your life, then you start thinking in a manner, how can I save my life? This is how the wicked do things. Some of us don't understand. They think that America, they think that Britain and France, they think that the Europeans, they think that so many of these persons, y'all think they good. They good for nothing. They out to rob and steal. This is what they have been doing for hundreds of years. Why should they stop a good thing? This is how they survive. A tick and a flea, they survive by drinking blood. They're not going to change. These are parasites. They have to find a new dog. Let's go to Kenya. Let's go to Somalia. Let's go somewhere because where we are at, the blood is running out. We have to find a new source of blood. These parasites and these ticks. Wow. And you think they are good. And the thing about a flea and a tick, sometimes you don't even know they sucking your blood. I send my condolences to the families that lost people in this senseless massacre. However, if you really think about it, we understand why this was done. And I've just explained the reason why. Because people don't do things for no reason. There's a reason behind everything that some of these suckers do. There's a reason behind it. Believe that. You may not know it, and you might know it, but it's not about what you know. It's about what you can prove. So I'm watching this on the mass media. They report that gunmen assault this mall and murder innocent people. Nairobi, Kenya. And when you think about Nairobi, Kenya, you think about Africa. That is Africa. So I'm looking at the television, and in my mind, when I think about Africa, I think about black people. I think about Africans. Africans have dark skin. But when you look at the video, you see all these foreign people. You see many, many Caucasians. My question is, why are all these people doing here? What are you doing in Africa? Then they say that the people who are assaulting, using the guns that's bringing terror to this mall, some of them might have been Caucasians. Why are all these foreign people in Africa? Why are these people in Kenya? There are Caucasian races and some silly dark European Uncle Ruckus Negro type blacks. They tell me all the time, if you don't like America, go back to Africa. What's the purpose to go back to Africa? The purpose to go back to Africa is to separate myself and get away from Caucasian people. But if I go to Nairobi, Kenya, the Caucasian people are there. No matter where you go in Africa, you're going to find Caucasian people. So what's the sense you're going to tell me to go back to Africa to get away from Caucasian people, and there you are? The purpose to go back to Africa, the purpose to leave America is to get away from Caucasian pink people. But this is not possible because you're already there. So the question is, why are you in Africa? Why is the Chinese in Africa? Why are all these foreigners in Africa? I already told you the reason why. They are there to steal. Bring your fake religion, Jesus Christ, and give it to the Africans. Because Jesus Christ will make them docile. So you can steal easier. Cheat them out of their natural resources under their feet. The gold, the oil, the silver. Because these ticks and these leeches, they need another source of blood. And then you try to pretend like you goody two-shoes and give these people little or nothing and make the victim go into the earth and give you their gold and their silver and their oil and all these different resources. Give them little or nothing. But you take the majority of it. And these corrupt African leaders, they sit back and let these people leech their people. They fill their own personal pockets. Somebody gonna pay for all this. Somebody got to pay with the continued exploitation of black folks. African, black, in the islands, all over this planet. Somebody's always sucking our blood dry. Y'all should be sick of it. Caucasians sucking our blood. Chinese and Japanese and Arabs and Asians and corrupt black folks. Negroes, nigger Africans. You should be tired of being pushed around and bullied and tricked and lied to. They give you crumbs. And all these suckers is eating the cake. All these people always make fun of black folks. Day in and day out. Chinese people make fun of you. Why are they there? The Asians make fun of you. Indians and all these people, all these foreign suckers make fun of us. But when they need something, who they come to? When they listen to decent music for a change and want to see something decent in life.